Hi students, coming to the different types of software lifecycle models. So the first one is the waterfall model. The first waterfall model is waterfall model. So here in the waterfall model, you are having different phases: requirement analysis, system design, implementation, testing, deployment, and maintenance. So the waterfall model, this is the first software development lifecycle model to be used widely in software engineering to ensure success of the project. So almost all the software engineers are used to use this waterfall model. So in the approach, the whole process of software development is divided into separate phases. Suppose if any process is there, if any product is there, if any problem is there, that problem is divided into series of phases, different phases. Here, the outcome of one phase acts as an input to the other phase. The outcome of requirement analysis acts to the input. Outcome of system design, input to implementation. Outcome of implementation is input to testing. Testing is deployment. Outcome of deployment is maintenance. And it is input to the maintenance. This is the outcome of one phase is acts as an input for the next phase. That should be in sequential. Now let us see. And one thing you have to remember that if one phase is completed, then only you go for the next phase. Without the completion of the first before phase, you are not supposed to go for the next phase. Once it is freeze, next go for the next phase. Once it is freeze, next go for the next phase. Like that we have to follow like this. So that's why we call it as a waterfall model. Water, first drop here, it comes to next stage. Next comes stage. If you drop the water, the stages will be changing from high to low whenever we are pouring a water from terrace. So first it reaching first stage, fifth floor, next fourth, next third, like that it is coming down. So like that it has to follow like that. Now first see the requirement analysis. What do you mean by this requirement analysis? So here the requirement gathered and documented in a requirement specification document. So whatever the user's requirements, suppose I am saying to the person, means I want these are the specifications, I need the output like this, I want the product like this, I am going to run an app like this. So you are giving some specification and ideas to the team people. Okay, that you call it as a requirement analysis. That will be written in a documented and they are saved. So whatever the user requirement and what are the customer requirements, that will be first documented. After that, the system design. The system design helps in specifying hardware and the system requirements and also defining overall system architecture. Means what type of hardware we have to use and whatever the requirements that system requirements that we need, and also defining overall system architecture to develop a complete system, whatever they need, that you call it as a system design. So that will be design in this phase. Okay, I know the documentation, I had seen the hardware components also. Next they go for the implementation. So in the implementation, with input from system design, so whatever the input that we are taken from the system design, the system is developed in small programs called units. So here we are implementing the program into small units. Okay, so here each unit is tested for its functionality and it's referred as unit testing. Means we are writing a code and we are testing that each unit by using unit testing, so that everything will be come under the implementation. Okay, my product is over and it is every unit small programs are tested and it is successful. So that will be checking in this testing. After that, deployment. Okay, so in testing, and here you can also call it as integration and testing. Let me write one more point: integration and testing. So here I'm making the program, small programs called units. So each unit we are testing. So after that you have to combine all units, that you call it as integration. All units are integrated and test complete product for any faults and failures in this phase. So next they come for the deployment. Deployment is nothing but once the functional and non-functional testing is done. Okay, everything was done. the testing and the functional, non-functional, everything is done. Okay, my project is completely fit. Then you are ready to deliver the product to the customer environment, or you directly releasing into the market. That stage you call it as deployment. Okay, I released everything and my product is now running in the market and my customer is using. So even though if your project is over, your product was delivered, if any issues come up from the client environment, you have to be fix those problems. And also if they want any enhancement to that product, you have to add that and you have to release it again. That stage you call it as a maintenance. So the maintenance stage will be occurred in the customer environment only, client or customer environment. So maintenance stage will be done on the customer environment. So if issues comes in the client environment, so those will be fixed, and that you call it as a maintenance. So these are the different stages in the waterfall model. First, requirements, system design, implementation, integration and testing, deployment, and the maintenance. Now let us see the advantages and disadvantages of using waterfall model. Advantages. So first thing, it is simple and easy to understand and use. Okay, and next, it is easy to manage also. Easy to manage, and each phase has a specific delivery and review process. Next, phases or proceed. Phases or proceed and completed one at a time. So means once if one phase is completed, then only you are supposed to go for the next phase. So phases are proceeded and completed one at a time. Next, here the requirements are very well understood. In waterfall model, requirements are very well understood, and it is easy to arrange task also, and it is clearly defined stages. Clearly defined stages. So these are all the advantages of using the waterfall model. Now let us see the disadvantages. The disadvantage in using waterfall model is no working software is produced until late during the life cycle. That is one. And the next, let me write that. No working software is produced until late during life cycle. So if you follow the waterfall model, so this is a problem they came across, and the high amount of risk and uncertainty will be there. High amount of risk and uncertainty will be there in waterfall model, and it is not good model for complex and object oriented programs. Not good for object oriented program, and it is also complex. It is not good model for complex and object oriented programs, and this is a poor model for large and ongoing projects. Poor model for large and ongoing projects. So these are the advantages and disadvantages of using the waterfall model. Thank you.